morning, everybody. My name's Darlene, and I have Parkinson's. I'm going to just start by saying a sentence. Sometimes life can be challenging. Doesn't always run smoothly, and you have to be able to go with the good, the bad, whatever. So it can be a challenge, and some days are more of a challenge than others. So I think that I want to talk a little bit about that and how you can learn to overcome some of it. For me, I have good time and I have bad time. I've explained that before. It's about an hour and a half of good time to an hour and a half of bad time most of the time. But when my meds are working really good, then I can get a little longer good time and a little shorter bad time. But on average, it's an hour and a half and an hour and a half. And it cycles all day long. So it's not like I have all my bad time at one time and then all my good time. No, it's every 3 hours it's changing. So I have learned that when I have things that I want to do, morning generally I can get through a little bit longer than I can in the afternoon. By the time I get tired, then I can't do it. But in the morning I can usually go a little bit more. But if I have something that I really want to get done, I do it in the morning during my good time. If I'm very busy, I can usually head off the bad time, but you can't stay busy all the time. And the second you sit down, then the bad time starts. It's almost instantaneously. When the bad time starts, you just sit still until it passes. And I don't show much of the bad time. People say, oh, you do so much during the day, or you're busy all the time, or whatever. That's because you only see a snippet of my life. And I show the snippets where I'm doing something because it's pretty boring to watch somebody sitting still. So you don't see that, but in between all those things that I was doing the other day, I was sitting. And it's hard to sit because it's also painful because my feet are all gimpled up and my hands are all gimpled up and it's painful. And I don't do painkillers. So therefore, other than having an ibuprofen or something, and usually that is not for anything to do with the Parkinson's. That's usually because, my neck is hurting or my back is hurting or something. It's not because of the Parkinson's. It's just other things. So I just have to sit there and get through it. But you don't see that all the time. Another thing that I'm leading into showing you something. But another thing that happens is the medicine can cause some side effects. And I laugh about these side effects because they sounded kind of funny to me. It can make you lose your inhibitions. So you can become a sex maniac or something. I don't know. They said you have to be careful. You can become crazy with sex. They also said you can be compulsive gambler or a compulsive shopper. Well, I like Amazon. I will say that. I like Amazon. But I'm not a compulsive shopper. I'm not a sex maniac. And what was the other one that I said? Gambling. Oh, I don't do the gambling. So I really don't think that that's a problem for me, but that is something to be aware of. That leads me into something that I got that's new. But, and I did get it from Amazon, and I got it because I really wanted it, because I enjoy a cup of coffee. But I only drink 1 or 2 cups in a day. I don't drink a pot of coffee. So therefore, I've had a Keurig. And Keurigs do not last. I am on my 3rd Keurig in about 7 years. And so the last one that I had was a Keurig Mini, which is what I've got now. And it only lasted me just over a year. So it wasn't very good. But I'm going to just take you and walk in and show you it. So I just got that the other day. And I was glad because my other one was hit and miss if it was going to work. And I don't like to have no coffee. Okay, I'm going to turn you around here. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that a nice color? It's a color called Oasis. And I thought it was really nice. This is something that I couldn't understand. The very same machine was more expensive if I got it in a poppy red, which I really liked. And even more expensive if I got it in black. Now, why the color would make a difference, I have no idea. But anyway, it did, so I just got the cheaper one. Bill liked that color, and I said, I do too, so that's what we're doing. Okay. The other thing is, when I was sitting down for so long in the day, I was getting very bored. It's hard to sit there. It's very boring. So you have to have hobbies. You have to have something to do. Now, I have neuropathy in my hands, so I have a harder time with it, but I like to crochet. I've been trying really hard to do that. I like to color, and I like to read, but I haven't read for quite a while. What else do I like to do? I like to play games, but when my hands aren't working, it's hard to hold a stylus, so it's harder to write things down, it's harder to crochet and whatnot, but I can do it, and it passes the time. So now the only thing when I crochet, I am doing aerobics because I am wiggling all over the place, and for whatever reason, when I'm trying to put that hook in, I'm practically standing on my head. Like my legs go up in the air, and if anybody filmed me when I was crocheting like that, they would think, what an honor goodness is with that girl. But anyway, that's what happens to me. But I can fill the time in. And if I don't fill the time in, I become very miserable. And if I become very miserable, the whole house becomes very miserable. So therefore, I don't want that to happen. So I've been trying to keep myself busy. The other thing is, my brain doesn't work as good as it should. Not just forgetting things, but just things that I know that I can't remember what day of the week it is. I constantly saying, what day is it? Or cooking, I forget how to do things. But basically, I'm trying to just keep doing it. And as long as I keep doing it, then maybe I will get through it. One thing that I haven't forgotten is all my memories. And I'm going to tell you another one. So it's a story about Claudine and Ivy, her daughter, my granddaughter, and myself. And we decided we were going to do a girls' camping trip. Now, Ivy would have been, what would she have been? She'd been probably 10 years old. And so this is quite a few years ago now because she's 24. But anyway, we went quite a distance. We went to BC, and we were living in Calgary at the time. So we went quite a distance. It was about a 12-hour drive. No, maybe not quite that long. Maybe about a 10-hour drive. But anyway, we went to Prince George, and we hooked up with one of Claudine's friends there that had a daughter. So we had this girls' camping trip. Now, when we were packing for it, Claudine said, we just need Smokies and marshmallows. And I said, I am not living on Smokies and marshmallows for an entire week. There's no way. So I, of course, got potatoes and steak and, put them all together and whatnot. So we were going to do it a little bit better than what she wanted to do. But anyway, we got there. We pitched our tent. Kelty pitched her tent. And we were on the same site. And we decided to go to the lake. While we were at the lake, we were down there probably for 4 hours, but I couldn't believe this happened. We pitched our tent in a perfectly good site. It was flat. There wasn't any creepy crawlies anywhere. Like, it was a nice site. We pitched our tents. We came back, and you're not going to even believe me. There must have been 1,000 bugs that had hatched. They were these flying ant things, and they were a huge bug, and there was everywhere. Like, they had literally hatched while we were at the lake. I have never seen so many bugs in my entire life. And we said, we can't stay here. But they died off as quick as they hatched. And so we did stay there. But it was like, I have never seen, when it hatched, the amount of bugs. And I said, that's when we needed the men around. We needed the men there when that happened. But anyway, it was just us girls, and we managed to get through it. But we never forgot those flying bugs. Anyway, that's my story for today. So I'm going to stop it here, and maybe I'll go and find some. Oh, you know what else I did today? I feel so accomplished. I defrosted my freezer, and I inventoried what was in it, because if we're going to be moving, I don't want to have a freezer full of stuff. I'd rather have it empty when we were moving and then fill it when we got there. So I want to know what was in there. So I defrosted it, got it all nice and clean, and inventoried it. So now I know what we're having. All right, that's it for today, and we'll see you all tomorrow.